Every missionary who goes out to evangelize has a moment of departure. So for example, St. Francis Xavier, departing from the shores of his native Portugal and not knowing how long or short the journey would be, not knowing how successful or unsuccessful he would be, he departed. In St. Francis Xavier's case, he was extremely successful, bringing the message of Christ all the way to, well, around the globe. But it all starts with that moment of departure. Today we celebrate the feast of St. Thomas the Apostle, who himself had two different departures. And when I say departure, I mean departing from the company of the apostles and going off on his own. So he had two departure times, if you will. So the first departure time for St. Thomas was just after the death of Jesus, and he and all the other apostles were shaken up about what happened. Scripture says that St. Thomas was not with them, so he had departed. Where he went, we don't really know, but obviously he didn't get very far, maybe just around Jerusalem. The second departure time of St. Thomas was after the experience of the risen Christ. How far did St. Thomas get after that departure? Well, history supports the idea that he went all the way to India to bring the gospel. In fact, many people today from South India attribute their spiritual heritage to St. Thomas. Here's the pattern that's revealed through the life of St. Thomas. Without having an experience of the risen Christ, St. Thomas didn't get very far, just around Jerusalem. But after being in the presence of the risen Christ, he made it all the way to India. What's the point? When a person prioritizes being with Christ, there's no telling how far they go. It doesn't matter how gifted or talented a disciple of Christ is, if they do not prioritize their life of prayer, in other words, being with Christ, they never get very far. And if they do, whatever success they experience eventually crumbles. So, as fellow disciples of Christ, let's learn from the pattern of St. Thomas the Apostle today. Without the presence of Christ, we don't get very far. But with him, there's no telling how far we'll go to win over souls for Christ.